Hey, this is Nadia. I'm a software engineer and a UK Global Talent Visa coach. I'm based in London and I currently help IT professionals prepare their applications for the UK Global Talent Visa. In this video, I wanted to talk to you about the premium coaching service that I offer, what I mean by premium coaching, what you can expect from me, and also why the service might be for you, and also why the service might not be suitable for you at all. So within premium coaching, I usually offer my support to a very limited number of people, so usually one or maximum two people at the same time. So this is a white glove service where I support you through the process of preparing for the visa application during the period of 8 to 10 weeks, depending on when you want to apply for the visa. What I mean by providing support. So it all starts with the strategy session, which is a session where we talk about your whole career holistically. We talk about all of your achievements, the things that you are most proud of, and come up with a high-level overview and a high-level roadmap that will take you from where you are right now to a place where you are comfortable and confident about applying for the Global Talent Visa. So we'll create a list of milestones that you will be expected to hit by every point within this 8 to 10 weeks. And also we'll have a deadline when we hope to be able to apply for the visa. So all of our documents should be ready by then. Within this period, we'll have regular one-on-one calls. So usually this is a once per week call that lasts 45 minutes where you'll get to ask me any kind of questions you have, any blockers. And I'll also give you feedback on the document that you already have prepared. We'll make sure that we're still on track to meet our chosen deadline, and just generally talk about anything that worries you about the process. I also offer asynchronous support, which is done through a Telegram chat or a WhatsApp chat, whatever works for you, where you will get to ask me questions about the visa, and I guarantee that I get back to you with an answer within 24 hours. I think this is valuable service because when I was preparing my own case for the UK Global Talent Visa, I was doing this on my own. And whenever I had a question, whenever I had a blocker, it always took me a lot of time to find an answer to my question. So to give you an example, I had this question about the reference letter. So I have the reference letter ready, but then how do I get it signed? And the official Technation Visa Guide, it doesn't explain how the letter should be signed, really. And I wasn't sure whether it should be signed electronically through DocuSign or through the feature on MacBook that allows you to sign a document, or maybe it should be printed out, signed with ink, and then scanned and sent over back to me. And I couldn't find an answer to that. So I think it took me a couple of hours to find an answer. I had to search for an answer on Google. I had to scour some forums. I had to look at some Telegram chats. If I had a coach, I could have just asked them for help. And this is, in theory, the kind of help and support that you can get if you hire me as your coach. You just ask me a question, and then it's up to me to make sure that I find you an answer within 24 hours. I also provide you support with all of the documents that you're planning to submit for the visa. To give you some context, we're talking about 45 pages of documents. So it's quite a lot, and you can imagine that if you are a busy person, like most of us are, you probably don't have the time to, first of all, research what the documents should be, what they should look like, what they should say, how they should be structured. We'll also decide which criteria you're going to meet when it comes to the visa. So if you are new to this process, there are various optional criteria that you're expected to choose from. So I will help you decide which criteria you can meet, and then we'll decide which documents will fulfill which criteria. And also, depending on which criteria you choose, the documents need to be structured a certain way. So there is a lot there, a lot of detail, a lot of context that you can go out there and do your own research, and you can get the context yourself, but also you can hire a coach like me who will just tell you everything that you need to know and not more. So in this case, I will provide you support with preparing all of the support and evidences. The most important support and evidence is, of course, your letters of recommendation. So this is the foundation of any successful application for the Global Talent Visa. So with the letters, the way I work is that I will expect you to do a brain dump of everything that you are proud of in your career. Just write down all of your achievements, all of the projects that you have delivered in a Google Doc file, along with impact. and metrics that you can remember, and basically describe the achievements that you want to include in the application in a doc for me, and then it will be up to me to help you edit this content to fit the expectations of the technician, to meet all of the requirements of the reference letters that they expect. I will help you edit and mold this information into something coherent, into something that makes sense, into something that technician will be happy to read, and into something that will meet their requirements. And the same is true for the other documents. So for the supporting evidences for your optional criteria, for your mandatory criteria, then you will also need to write a personal statement and the CV. All of those documents have their own specific requirements that technician wants to see. Even a CV, it's something common. Everybody has a CV, but for the technician application, you will need to write a completely new CV. So this will be a new document that we'll need to write from scratch. This will be based, of course, on your existing CV and your existing achievements and work that you have done. And I will expect you to provide me with the content or with the meat of the CV, for instance, but then I will help you edit it and formulate it in a way that fulfills the requirements of the technician. The same is true for personal statement. Again, for all of the other documents that you're expected to meet, we'll work together on them to make sure that everything is in order. I will also double check all of your documents together before we go on and apply for the visa. This is a point where it's easy to make a mistake. So imagine you have been working on your visa application for 2 or 3 months. Everything is ready. You have your 45 pages of documents, and then you are all ready to apply for the visa. This is the point where it's easy to miss something, to miss a requirement, to miss a certain checkbox that they expect to be checked. This is where I come in. So I will check all of your documents once again before we apply. I will look at all of them holistically at the whole case and see whether there are any gaps, anything that we can make stronger, anything that we can improve, and then we'll be ready to apply. Here, if you want my help, I can also help you go through the process of applying for the visa on Technation website. I think that this process is not very straightforward. It's not documented anywhere online. So the service that I provide is that I can be with you on a call when you apply, when you fill the application form, and just answer any questions you might have, so that you have the peace of mind that you have done everything correctly and you haven't messed anything up at the last moment, which I think would be pretty stressful. I was applying for the visa myself, and the moment when I had to upload my documents on Technation website was actually one of the most stressful ones, because I found out that there were a couple of things there that I wasn't really prepared for, and I had to scramble and stress out and freak out about how do I fill this out, kind of at the last moment. So I will take the stress out of this process so that you can be sure that everything is correct, everything is done, and you are all set for being endorsed for your visa. So some of the bonuses of working with me. I follow all of the forums and all of the communication related to Technation. Any updates to the process, to the requirements that happen, I keep track of them. So you don't have to worry about any of this. If anything changes, I will let you know. I follow the forum so that I'm always up to date with the latest cases that people report. So for instance, if somebody reports getting rejected for a visa, I analyze the feedback that they get from Technation, and I think how we can translate this to your case, whether we can make your case stronger so that the chances of you getting rejected for the visa for this specific reason is lowered. And another bonus that I think that I haven't heard anybody else offer is that I actually offer you ways to improve your case and make it stronger if you are still missing some things in your case. For instance, you want to show that you have contributed to the advancing of the field of the digital technology outside of your regular day-to-day activities. Or you want to prove that you have done public speaking, or you have publications in industry media. This is where I can also offer help and coaching. I used to be a journalist in my previous career. I am still a blogger. I am still very active on social media. I have quite a big network when it comes to tech in the UK and also around the world. So I know a lot of people. I know a lot of NGOs that will be happy to have you as a volunteer if this is something that you're interested in. I also can help you find a way to get more public speaking opportunities. I can also advise you as to how you can get your publications featured in some publications. I can also advise you on how to get published online. I can also help you understand how you can approach a blogger so that they interview you, because also this is something that is very valuable for an application if you have interviews of you online. So as a journalist, as a blogger, I understand this world very well. So I understand social media marketing, and these are all the things that a lot of tech professionals really struggle with. So if all of this is foreign to you, if you have never dealt with any of this, you don't know how bloggers work, how any of this works, I would be happy to advise you and guide you through this, so that perhaps you can get a public speaking opportunity, or maybe an interview of you featured on YouTube or somewhere else, or being interviewed on a podcast. If this is something that you are interested in, this is the service that is kind of included in the premium package, because this is also my specialty and something that I will be very happy to help you with. So why me? So first of all, I've been through the process myself. I am like you, and I'm in the same boat. So I am a software engineer, a self-taught software engineer actually. So I went through the process of preparing my documents for the Global Talent Visa myself. I didn't hire a lawyer or a coach, so I did my own research. I read the forums, the blog posts, the Telegram chats, the Facebook groups, and basically, anything that I could get my hands on. I researched all of this stuff so that you potentially don't have to. And I have this system of knowledge in my head that allows me to advise people on the best ways to craft their applications. Additionally, I constantly work on keeping up to date with the news. I constantly work on improving and expanding my knowledge of the topic. So for instance, on my YouTube channel, every week or every 2 weeks, I interview somebody who was endorsed for the Global Talent Visa. And I ask them questions about their document that they submitted, the process that they went through. And this is something that I do for a couple of reasons. So first of all, to spread the word about this amazing visa and to help people prepare their own visa applications on their own so that they have as much information as possible. But also this is something that I do for myself as a coach. I make sure that I'm on top of everything that's happening. It's very important for me to be well informed. So this is something that I do to keep my knowledge sharp. Also, since I am a software engineer and not a lawyer, I actually understand tech very well. So when I'm reading your documents and I'm reading your CV, I can understand what you're talking about. So these are not just buzzwords for me. This is stuff that I know and understand, which means that when I'm helping you draft your recommendation letters, I can suggest meaningful improvements, and I can suggest technical improvements to the letter so that your letters look very impressive from the technical point of view as well. I think that this is something that sets me apart from lawyers who are not tech professionals and can't offer you advice that is specific to tech. On top of that, I'm also a former journalist. I'm a book author, so I wrote and published my book. I'm still blogging and writing a lot. So I know how to tell a story. I know how to write well. And I know how to craft your whole life into this specific story that we want to give to Tech Nation. This application is all about telling your story. It's not about just fulfilling, some checkboxes. It's all about crafting a story that is compelling and that convinces the Tech Nation assessor that you are worthy of this visa. And this is where my former experience as a journalist really comes in and helps us come up with a story that increases your chances for getting the visa. Most importantly, though, I am on your side, and I really, really care about your experience applying for the visa, and I really root for your success. So I get very personally involved with the process. This is not transactional for me. I don't have, 100 clients, and I don't try to scale this process right now. So I call myself a holistic immigration coach, and props to you if you get this reference. But basically, I just think of this process holistically. And I try to make the process of applying for the visa as easy as possible for you. This is an intense process. Anybody who went through it, especially somebody who went through the process on their own like I did, can say that this is a very demanding process. It's something that it's very hard to go through on your own. I mean, you can do it, and I won't ever tell you that you need a lawyer to get the visa. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need me. You don't need any other coaches. You can do this yourself. A lot of people do it. I did it. I know people who did it, and it all went very well for them. and they got the visas. So this is not a requirement. This visa is permissionless, and this is the beauty of it. There is information online. You can prepare your case, you can pay the fee for the visa, and you can get the visa. So again, I'm not the one who will tell you that you need my services. However, the value of the coaching, of any kind of coaching, is that this journey becomes easier for you, and it doesn't have to be as hard as it is when you're doing it on your own. So the benefit of this premium coaching is that you get the support, you get the encouragement, you get the information, you get the practical tips, you get the guidance, you get the updates and the information support from me, but also you get psychological support from me when things get tough, and things do get tough during this process. A lot of things can go wrong, and if you have a coach, if you have me by your side, you can count on me to find a way to cheer you on and find a way out of your situation. So for instance, if you ask somebody to write you a letter of recommendation and maybe they initially agree, but then at some point they say that they won't sign it, or maybe they have issues and they just want to change all of your letter and completely destroy it, and you start freaking out about it, and it's a very emotional moment because you have invested so much time into this and so much is on the line. This is where I will be somebody rooting for you and trying to come up with a solution. So that's the summary of what I offer. I hope this was useful. So this service is not for everybody, and it's as much about you choosing me as about me choosing you, because for me it's also important to work with somebody who is dedicated to the process, who is willing to work hard, and who is kind of willing to go through the process, pass through all the difficulties, cope with everything, and then apply for the visa with the strongest case that we can create together. This is a service that is for you if you, first of all, don't have the time to do the research, to prepare the documents, and you just want to get this over with as quickly as possible. This is also for you if you are under a deadline and, for instance, your current visa is running out, or you want to change your jobs, or you need to maybe urgently move to the UK or something like that. This is where I can help you speed up the process. This is also for you if you struggle with English and you are not really sure how to express the things that you want to express in English. So this is also for you if you come from a culture where you are not really comfortable with selling yourself and selling your achievements, where you are too shy. Maybe you have an imposter syndrome, and when you look at your career, you always say, I haven't done anything, and then you talk about it to somebody else and people are like, oh my God, you have such an amazing career. So if you are this kind of person and you feel that you will really struggle with promoting yourself, then I can help you, because honestly, a lot about this process is just shamelessly bragging and selling yourself in a good and honest way. But also this is something that a lot of people struggle with, and this is something that I'm really happy to help you with. This is something that I actually enjoy. So this aspect of coaching is something that I really, really love. So if you think that this is something that you might be interested in, please get in touch with me, and I will be happy to discuss the details and see whether this is something that suits you and also suits me. We'll be happy to help you. Thank you for watching. Bye.